But one of the things I like to do is talk a little bit about a little piece of content. We've been kind of talking through the week about having difficult conversations. We talked about, creating a safe place for it and getting the brain oriented to where it can listen and people feel cared about. And we talked about getting your own brain ready by having the conversation with yourself before you have it with the other person, because you got to bleed off the emotion. You got to figure out what it is that you're actually wanting, all that kind of stuff. And then the next one that I wanted to look at here is this: get clear about what your purpose is in having the difficult conversation. Are you trying to just persuade somebody that they're wrong? Are you trying to win? Are you trying to convince them that you're right? Or are you trying to find a solution? A solution that's good for both of us, a solution that works for both of us, and a solution that actually the other person is engaged in and motivate to you know, pull into action to execute on. See, we don't do well in difficult conversation when we just convince somebody of something. If we think we have, maybe they're nodding. But what we want is somebody that goes away from the conversation and does something different. Okay, that's the great resolution to a difficult conversation, that we've entered into this and both of us leave it and we have changed our behavior, or we changed what we're focusing on, or we changed whatever it is we're doing when you're not there, because you're not going to be there and be able to control this person all the time. Okay. So the next kind of point in this that I want you to think about is, what is it that you want the outcome to be? And then orient the conversation around, here's the point, engaging the other person with you to together, let's find a solution to this. Now that's important for a number of reasons. And specifically, they have to do with kind of the way the brain works. See, if you've got your position and I got my position and we're going back and forth, well, I think this is right and you think this is right. This is what I want. That's what you want. And we're at this log jam, right? Well, the first thing I said was, let's get a space in the middle where you can get all of yours out there. And I'm not going to attack it, invalidate it, tell you why it's wrong, persuade you against it. I just want to listen and understand. And you're doing that with me, and we can listen and understand. So now what do we have? Well, we've taken all of this stuff and we put it out here. And then we're seeing some meanings emerge from this. And I'm saying some things like, okay, so one of the things I understand that's important to you about the way that we do this is, one of your highest things is you really want to be able to preserve your ability to have a say so or a choice. Is that right? Is that really important? Or you're really wanting to make sure that it meets whatever we do, that it meets this kind of parameter or whatever. We're finding out the needs behind the position. Okay, we're finding out the needs behind the position. So then once we get those out there, then instead of, this could be as simple as, mom or dad trying to get the kids in the van to get to go to church on time or get to go to school on time. We got to leave by 8 o'clock. Okay. Well, you get in this conversation and you say, okay, so, school starts at 8. So we both have a shared goal here. Want to get there by 8. We've had difficulty in getting there. Tell me what makes it difficult for you to be in the car, seatbelts done, books on the floor, snot wiped off your nose, all that by 20 minutes to 8. What are the difficulties there? You start to get those out, and you find out, well, there's a bunch of stuff that makes what we're wanting hard for them. And then once you've heard we're not on opposite sides of the table fighting anymore, Now let's sit on the same side of the table, you and me together, and on the other side of the table is the problem. And we're going to attack the problem. So now I'm going to begin to ask things like, so what are some ways, what are we, what are some ideas you have of how could we all be in the car by 20 till and you've been able to do this and this and this and this and this? And then you get to an engagement of them. And what are they doing? Now you're both using your creative brains, which you have more creativity and innovation and problem solving available to you at this point, because you're not fighting, you're not pushing, you're not fight or flight, you're not reacting. And you got the higher centers of the brain working to be able to find a solution. And so that's why we engage somebody instead of fighting over something, say, so what would be helpful to you here? If they say, well, if you painted your face, green and had flashing lights on it, that would be helpful to me. Well, I can't do that, but what would be another way that I could get you what you need? And see, we engage people in solving the problem. Once you've turned somebody from an adversary to a partner in solving the problem that you're both wanting to solve, now you're in a different path and you're going to broaden the parameters of what the options are if we're not stuck to one little point. Okay.